What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. Now in today's video we're taking a look at Tarrabah and exactly why this is an insane weapon inside the Crucible and even very effective inside certain PvE content. So if you don't have it and aren't too sure whether it's worth the effort to go after it, then be sure to stick around and check out the video. If you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a rating down below, that super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new around here and want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now alongside the launch of Season of Arrivals, we have featured raids, and with that we're seeing a lot of people jump back into some of the older raids to get items that they may be missing before some of them are sunset or even added to the Destiny content vault at the end of the season. And one of these weapons that we have in mind is the Tarrabah. This is available from the Crown of Sorrow raid, and little under 24% of players have this inside Destiny 2, so more of you don't have it than do have it. And with that in mind, it launched alongside the king of SMGs, the Recluse. Now with the Recluse being sunset at the end of the current season, it may be time now for something like Tarrabah to really start to shine. And as you can see from some of the clips that have been playing out so far, it's a pretty powerful weapon, especially inside the Crucible. With that being said, let's take a closer look at the Tarrabah itself. So here it is, the Tarrabah, the exotic energy submachine gun. It comes with two traits. Now the main exotic trait is Ravenous Beast. So this weapon stores power when dealing or receiving damage, and you unleash the beast when it's full. It also has Bottomless appetite, so dealing continuous damage extends the duration of Ravenous Beast. Now this is a 750 rounds per minute archetype SMG. There's not too many of these inside Destiny 2. In fact, there's only one other exotic that's a 750, and the other four are legendaries, so it's very exclusive in terms of the archetype in which we find it. The magazine has 30 in total, and it has one of the highest range stats of the archetype at 49. Now inside PvE, it's a very powerful weapon. If anything, it feels slightly overpowered in that early to mid-range PvE content. When you get to end game content though, then it really starts to hit a ceiling. Now as you can see, we are melting through ads in the Altar of Sorrow, even the yellow bars, especially when Ravenous Beast is active. The things that you really miss inside PvE are things like the anti-barrier mods. These are things that you normally apply to legendary weapons, however they're not available for any exotics, so the only way that Tarrabah will get one of these benefits is if they have a similar perk that they've added this season for pulse rifles that we can add to our armor. But with that being said though, this makes this weapon really struggle when it comes up against champions. It can do a good job, but you're putting yourself at risk by getting close, especially in endgame content with an SMG. Now inside the Crucible, however, it's a very fun gun to use. I've been running this in Control and even Rumble, and it's very effective in those game modes. Now when it comes to time to kill, this has one of the fastest time to kills currently available in the game. We covered the Cerberus +1 recently here on the channel, and that also had one of the most surprising optimal time to kills. Now the Tarrabah though, however, has an optimal time to kill of 0.67 seconds, which is right up there with one of the fastest in the game. Now it's important to note that this time to kill is without Ravenous Beast active. With this perk active, you get double the fire rate, you also get increased handling, reload and target acquisition, and it reduces the spread cone of this weapon as well, making it much more accurate at range. Now to achieve its regular optimal time to kill of 0.67 seconds, you'll need to hit 9 precision shots in order to defeat a Guardian. However, if you have Ravenous Beast active, your time to kill is 0.33 of a second, and that requires just 6 body shots in order to achieve. Now if we take a look at the other end of the scale, the longest time to kill would be 1 second, and that would be 13 separate body shots without Ravenous Beast active. Now let's take a moment to talk about Ravenous Beast as a perk. It works very much like Memento Mori on the Ace of Spades in that if you stow the weapon, the benefits of the perk reset. So if you get your Ghost out, use an ability, pop your super, anything like that, this will reset any progress you've made towards Ravenous Beast. Now the perk itself will store power in the weapon when dealing or receiving damage. It doesn't matter how much damage you take or receive, however it matters how many shots you can deliver or receive in order to activate this perk. Now Skye did a fantastic video summarizing and doing a bit of a review on this weapon as well, and he broke down exactly how many shots you need to land or receive in order to activate Ravenous Beast. Now if you haven't checked out Skye, I'll leave a link to his video and channel in the video description below. A great content creator, and be sure to check him out as well. Now the system that Skye refers to requires you to land 20 shots in order to activate Ravenous Beast. Now these don't have to be within optimal range. You could pepper someone at distance even if they're sniping to slowly build up your stacks of 20 hits. Now in terms of receiving damage, you can receive a total of 31 bullets, and this will activate Ravenous Beast once again. Now it's important to remember that these two, dealing and receiving damage, are working in tandem with each other. So if you've landed 10 bullets on your enemies, then you only have to receive 17 in order to completely charge the perk. Now, as we mentioned earlier in the video, the perk will reset if you stow the weapon. So if you're going to run Tarrabah and you want to continuously charge up Ravenous Beast, then you're going to have to commit yourself to running the weapon pretty much all the time. You can pair it with other weapons, but if you want to build up these stacks and activate the perk more often, then you're going to have to use it more often to hopefully get those hits to activate the perk to get the kills. So that's how Ravenous Beast works, and when you pair that with a high range stat, the highest actually in its archetype as we said, but also some enhanced SMG loader mods for your armor, then you can reload whilst in combat to activate the perk to mow people down very quickly indeed. Now Tarrabah works very well if you can adjust your playstyle to move around the map to get the shots to build up the perk. It will take roughly 2 kills in order to fully charge Ravenous Beast, and once you can activate that, it's great for control and taking out capture points and mowing down enemies one by one. Now Recluse itself is going to be sunset at the end of the current season, which means we're not going to see it that often in endgame PvP content. So does that mean we could potentially see more of Tarrabah in those activities? Well, with this weapon really shining inside quick play, especially control, and things like Iron Banner still being a power enabled activity, then that's where I believe Tarrabah potentially can shine. It will allow you to build up the perk as you take on multiple targets and use it effectively to take out capture zones if there's multiple targets close together. Outside that though, it's very unlikely that you'll see many teams running this in trials or comp and 3v3 activities. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, only 24% of players even have Tarrabah, even now, whilst the Crown of Sorrow is a featured raid. If you don't have it, I highly recommend that you at least chase it down and add it to your collection ahead of next season, as it could be a fun weapon to use and try out, especially in Iron Banner come Beyond Light. Now, one of the main talking points around Tarrabah is its potential need for a buff, especially when you look at Recluse and how that eventually ended up getting a nerf. But with very little time between now and Beyond Light, it's unlikely we're going to see any changes in the very near future, especially as this could find itself in a content vault with no real imminent end in sight on when this potentially could return. But if you were going to buff Tarrabah, what would you do? Would it be as part of the catalyst instead, rather than the main intrinsic perk? Whatever it is, be sure to sound off down in the comment section below. So there we have it, that is the Tarrabah, one of the rarest SMGs in the game. Less than a quarter of players even have it, and we could potentially lose it for a period of time come the end of the season. So if you don't have it, I highly recommend that you at least chase it down. Now if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below, that super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new around here and want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always guys, but I will catch you all again very soon.